Um, Yo, let me just reset my camera. That thing be busting. It be busting, don't it? And we busting back. Um, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Like, come on, guys. This is The Rock saved Cody Rhodes. Not that that's hard because it's Cody Rhodes, but let's see what he talking about. I'm gonna load my video up in the background.
With
This is
so many
episode 8
choices
for
on
today, y'all.
Booking.com, there are
So
so many Tina
video
Feys I could be. So I
that'll
hired body
probably
doubles.
end.
Indoorsy, Tina loves a deluxe suite.
Might do more than that than promise. Maybe I'll do another one
Booking.com,
as I finish these next three.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to their hot takes video. And let's get right into the first one, which says this might actually be the worst WrestleMania main event build-up, and it's talking about Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for night 2. And I completely disagree with this because that buildup is connected with The Rock and the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes stuff. It is all connected because night 1 has consequences for night 2, but I do kind of agree that we need to see Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes actually interact. It's weird not seeing them talk at all. I think this is kind of what WWE is doing. They're making Roman Reigns feel like such a little bro that he's going to eventually turn on The Rock, and The Rock's going to go completely heel on even his cousin when he loses the championship. But I don't know how I feel about it, because Roman Reigns has been the most dominant champion of all time, but now he feels like a little brother, and I just don't know how that feels, ending someone's historic title reign just like that. But maybe it's good, I don't know. We gotta wait to see what happens with Roman and The Rock afterwards. Anyways, the next hot take says that Roman versus Cody's build-up would have been boring if The Rock did not get involved. That kind of goes along with the first hot take, which, like I said, The Rock kind of did save it in a way, but he also made it about himself. But that also has something to do with the long-term storytelling for the next feud. So there's a lot of different components to the storyline in this feud. But I do agree that The Rock has been a great addition, because what would have Roman Reigns and Cody really have done differently this year compared to last year? They would have been like, I want to finish my story. Roman would have been like, you failed the first time, and that's pretty much it. But now with The Rock, it adds an entirely new element, and now we might even get a dream match between Cody and The Rock before we even get Roman versus The Rock. So I kind of like the fact that The Rock was added, and I do think that he saved the Cody and Roman match. All at Once says that Sami Zayn should be in the place of Seth Rollins as Cody's partner for WrestleMania. It just makes more sense. And I 1000% agree with this hot take. This is the perfect hot take because it's completely accurate. I think that it would have made a lot of sense for Sami Zayn to come back into the Bloodline storyline to help Cody Rhodes. And I think that it would have been a much better spot for him than challenging Gunther for the IC Championship, even though he's won it plenty of times in the past. This would have been much better. And also Seth Rollins could focus on Drew McIntyre instead of being in the mess of a situation, having two different feuds going on at the same time. The next hot take says that Randy should have dethroned Roman, or at least had a world title run after a Survivor Series return. He looked like the biggest megastar at Survivor Series. He should have entered WrestleMania as a world champion. That seems like a great idea, and he does feel like a huge star because he's actually huge body-wise, but he's also Randy freaking Orton. But then again, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, so far I think it's been a pretty good build, and I do want to see Drew become the world champion. On the other hand, Roman Reigns was not going to drop the championship to Randy Orton before WrestleMania. I guess you could have had Randy win the belt and then feud with Cody, but at the end of the day, no, it's not that big of a deal. I think that Randy should definitely win in the near future, and I think that WrestleMania 41 he should be in a world title match because I think Randy is a beast. EC3 says that Randy Orton facing Logan Paul at WrestleMania is a terrible decision. And the fact that that's not happening anymore is kind of funny. This was a couple days ago. But anyways, I do think that Randy Orton versus Logan Paul would have actually been better than a triple threat match with Kevin Owens. I'm more of a singles match kind of guy, more than a triple threat or fatal four-way. But who knows? Kevin Owens is a great performer. He's got a past with Logan Paul. The two have been feuding for some time now. So I think this triple threat match could be a lot of fun. And let's just talk about that Stunner RKO. That was so goofy. I don't know about you guys, but I think Logan Paul's going to do the same thing. Maybe on like an announce table or something like that. I don't know. Logan Paul's crazy. The next hot take says that when it's all said and done, Randy Orton will be seen as a definitive GOAT. And I've been saying this for such a long time. And while I still do think Randy Orton is the GOAT right now, I think Roman Reigns is making a great case. And there is a chance by the end of his career that he might be the GOAT. But right now, Randy Orton is my GOAT. But like I said, Roman Reigns could definitely make that case by the end of his career if he wins a couple more championships. If he defeats Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania and breaks Hulk Hogan's record, there's a chance. Heck, the guy might even have the longest championship reign of all time, and he might beat Bruno Sammartino's record, so who knows? The next hot take says that AJ Styles versus LA Knight was easily the best route for LA Knight in WrestleMania. It could even be the highlight even more than Cody versus Roman if done right. And while I do like AJ Styles and LA Knight in a match, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think both talents are great. LA Knight could definitely get a win over AJ Styles, and it wouldn't matter. I think a much better route for LA Knight would have been Logan Paul for the United States Championship. A bunch of people wanted to see LA Knight win that belt. I think it's long overdue. The guy deserves a world championship or any championship at this point. The U.S. title has some value to it, and LA Knight is LA Knight, so I think it would have elevated the belt even more. But I'm not mad at AJ Styles and LA Knight. Hopefully something big can happen for LA Knight afterwards, because the man is still so over with the crowd. It's insane. The next hot take says that Chad Gable is the best technical wrestler in WWE right now, next to Gunther. If Chad was booked correctly, he could easily create 5-star classics. I do think that Chad Gable is one of the best in the ring right now. He gives me off those Kurt Angle vibes, and
The perfect chambray shirt is crucial for any spring closet. Just use the filters. It's Google, but for shopping.
Like, come on.
We need Godzilla and Kong.
Godzilla and Kong. I ain't ready for that problem.
And there's not a lot of guys that can do that. So I do hope that WWE books him well. Hopefully he can become the IC champion at some point, because I think the man would have so many bangers with pretty much anybody on the roster. Speaking of LA Knight and Chad Gable, BlackSun9042 says that LA Knight and Chad Gable should be beating the US and IC champions at WrestleMania. And I agree, that would have been the end game that I wanted to see. LA Knight beating Logan Paul, Chad Gable beating Gunther, and both walking out as champions would have been dope to see. But unfortunately, that is not the case. The next hot take says that Judgment Day is holding back Finn Balor. And I actually kind of agree. I think the Judgment Day is kind of done at this point. Nobody really cares about it too much. Rhea Ripley definitely needs to go off and do her own thing and turn babyface. Then you have Dominic Mysterio, who's kind of holding everything together as the heel of the group that people actually like to boo. Then you have Finn Balor, who really is being held back, and Damian Priest. I don't think many people care about Damian Priest too much. The man is the Money in the Bank holder, and nobody cares. Nobody wants the man to cash in. So I do think that Finn Balor's got to move on from the Judgment Day. I think it would be best for his career. Jay Clark 10 says that Rikishi should be the special guest referee for Jay and Jimmy's match. And while that would be really interesting and kind of fun to see, I don't think it's necessary. Should it happen? Sure. If WWE wants to go down that route, I think it wouldn't be, I don't think it would hurt the match at all. But I do think that they're not going to do it just because it really wouldn't make too much sense. I mean, maybe Rikishi does want to referee their match. Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, the next hot take says that Rey Mysterio is more famous worldwide than Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I actually went and looked at this online at the Google Trends, and Rey Mysterio and Stone Cold are kind of neck and neck. They're basically up there right next to each other. So both of them are kind of equally famous around the world. That actually shocked me. I thought it was going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, but that does not seem to be the case. It would be interesting to see WWE and Google Trends and Stone Cold Steve Austin in his prime versus Rey Mysterio in his prime, because things are different now. Stone Cold doesn't really wrestle too often. But anyways, I would say this is a pretty good hot take because it's actually very close, a lot closer than you would think. The next hot take says they should remove the Money in the Bank PLE and do it at WrestleMania again. And while I loved Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, I do think it's better to have its own PLE. I think that Triple H has been booking it terribly, and that's why the PLEs aren't feeling as special. So just book a proper Money in the Bank holder and have a great cash in, and the pay-per-views will be fine. I don't think it needs to be added to WrestleMania. You could always just do a ladder match for the IC title or maybe the tag team championships or whatever. It doesn't really matter too much. Wacky Dude says that Jon Moxley will end up being the best Shield member, and absolutely not. It's always going to be Roman Reigns at number 1, Seth Rollins at number 2, and then Jon Moxley will be at number 3. That will never change.
A ladder match at WrestleMania.
The next hot take says that Dolph Ziggler will return to WWE to finally get a legit main event run like Cody Rhodes, and that is definitely not going to happen. I don't think Dolph Ziggler is going to be able to accomplish something like that, so I don't think this is going to happen. And the last hot take from Ryan says that Plana should join WWE and win the tag team championships with Chad Gable. I wish, because honestly that would be a great duo right there. But anyways, that is the end of the hot takes video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Okay, thank y'all for watching. I was trying to think of who I would want to return,
Try Cascade
and I can't
Platinum
think of nobody. Unless the Young Bucks would show up at WrestleMania and debut for WWE. But that's a stretch, and those guys are problematic. Plus, it wouldn't make sense because the Usos aren't a tag team. And that would have been a tag team match everybody would have wanted to see. Anyways, Let's get out of here.